Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Investing Bros live show. We got a great one lined up for you guys today because, yeah, we dipped this morning, but Bitcoin and altcoins are moving back to the upside. The question, though, that everyone is asking, how much further can we go? And here's the thing. We're going to be looking at some points today that if we can get to them, if Bitcoin gets to this certain level, it's not just that I think explosion is going to happen on Bitcoin. I think the altcoins will continue to set new highs for 2023. We're going to take a look at a lot of them. We're going to start off with some brief TA here in a couple of minutes, get some news, and then we'll go deeper, especially for our members. So all of our green names and the guys with the badges, guys and girls with badges, go ahead and be dropping throughout the show coins you want us to take a deeper look at, and we'll do some of that later on in the show. But with that said, I'm excited to be here with you guys and to be here with my co-host, Mr. T. Shroom, from all the way down there in Gainesville, Florida. T. Shroom, how are you feeling? How is it down there? It was 26 degrees this morning on my drive into work. Are you guys getting some chilliness down there? Are you still having some beach days?
It's chilly. It's chilly.
Okay.
When I let the dogs out this morning to go tinkles, it was quite chilly. I regretted wearing my flip-flops outside. It's time to start putting on socks and shoes when I'm doing that. Well, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's still way warmer down here. By now, I'm just wearing down to a t-shirt. But yeah, so we did have some news yesterday, some unfortunate news. So in homage to Charlie Munger, we're going to go ahead and do a quote of the day from Charlie. Said, "Those who keep learning will keep rising in life." Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a good guy.
Good quote. Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. There's been some mixed kind of responses to this. Here's what I will say. Charlie Munger, I disagree with him pretty heavily on his Bitcoin take. We even, we used to call him Charlie Mungus, Chuck Mungus. We made fun of his crypto takes. However, here's what I will say. That is a man who I actually didn't know this until yesterday. Someone was posting his life. Like, he got divorced early in life. And in that divorce, he lost everything. And then, he died at 99 years old. So he's been around for a while. He had a son who died from cancer and they didn't have insurance. So he literally spent everything he had trying to help his son. And in the process, not only did he lose his son, he also lost all his money again. And he, of course, died at 99 years old, lived a very long life, but successful as well. For him to lose everything twice and still die a billionaire, I hope that I learn half of the things that he figured out in life about investing. I don't know all of his personal beliefs. I'm not saying I want to be just like him in every area of life, but the man knew what he was doing when it came to investing. He was a forward thinker. And so while I disagree with his take on our beloved cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, he is a man who is worthy of our condolences, for his family. He's a man of worthy of our praise, saying, hey, we lost a good one. We lost a good one in the investing world. And of course, yeah, he was 99. So I'm glad he lived a long life. But here's what I can tell you. Anyone who's lost a loved one, it doesn't matter if they're 2 days old or 130 years old. When you lose someone that you love, it's not a fun time to go through. So my prayers and my thoughts are with all of the Munger family and the loved ones that he's leaving behind. Charlie, thank you so much for everything you've done for the investing world. We'll miss you. We'll miss you.
Absolutely. Well said, Tim. I think it was very nice.
Well, we're going to talk about crypto today. We're going to have some good stuff to talk about today because it is a green day. I've changed my chart. So, here's what we've got to, it's a white day on my charts because I have white candles are bullish, blue candles are bearish. The 1 hour chart, we are a little bit blue at the moment, but we kind of came down here. I'm telling you guys, we're going to do some drive-by TA here. We're going to get some deeper TA a little bit later on in the show, but came down perfectly to a line I drew this morning. You might be wondering, where is this line? 37.5. This is a perfect dip in our fixed range volume profile. I'm telling you guys, you definitely need to be using this when you're doing technical analysis. Look at that perfect little valley, little dip in the fixed range. We came down and kissed it perfectly. We're now moving back to the upside, back above the point of control. And here's what I will say, guys, as we kind of zoom out and we're looking at this. We are seeing, of course, even here on the oscillators on the hourly chart, some more bullish stuff flash in here. Histograms coming in nice and bullish as well. 4-hour chart looking, we kind of bottomed out here a little bit ago. We have not gotten overextended. Yes, we got a little red reversal and a bearish divergence here this morning, but I do think we have a lot further we can move to the upside there. But moving out to larger time frames, let's go ahead and take this stuff down. Remember, we are still sitting here well within this zone. I actually got to come down to the hourly chart and show you guys once again. We're looking at a similar pattern to what we did the last time. The last time we rallied and hit this white line. So coming back here, this dip, we actually went a little bit below it, November 21st. We got a nice little rally here, a push up, retracement, and then these nice two peaks, distribution phase. We come back down. It makes everyone convinced this rally is over, and then we shoot up and hit that new high for the rally. Guys, we pretty much made an identical move. Had that nice little push up, pull back just a little bit, our double top distribution. We pull back, hitting that newer low, but finding that support, moving back up higher. Not going to be surprised to see us push up a little bit more. Here is the thing, though. If we go over to our liquidation map, let me get this all set up for you guys and zoomed in here and get, Tishu and myself out of the way. This is the Bitcoin 3-day liquidation map. Yes, there's some liquidations down here at 36.6, give or take. So if you're bearish and the price starts to move to downside, definitely keep your eyes. There's magnets there, but the ones that I'm more interested in. Look, we wicked last night. Black Friday. I don't know why I said last night. We wicked to about 38,400. Just below a pretty key level of liquidations. What is that level? About 38,500. There are $280 million of liquidations that are going to be at that place. What does that mean? That means if price can move to these levels and slightly get above it, the amount of shorts that will be liquidated, a short squeeze could in fact happen again. And guess what, guys? The previous times we've had these short squeezes, we've come up and we've set these new highs. We get pretty explosive. If that happens, an explosive move up here towards that 39.1 we talked about the other day, I do believe that's going to happen for sure. I think we start to make that move. The buyers are continuing to pile in here. Highest open interest we've ever had at these bullish levels. To me, that speaks volumes about how bullish we are. Also looking at our CME futures. In fact, the other day we piled all the way up here to 39.3. We're a lot higher on our CME futures for Bitcoin. I see the price continuing to the upside. And if we do that, if we get that 38.5 and then we continue to pile up, watch out for what altcoins can do. I do think they're going to continue to make moves to the upside. Ethereum, I think you're definitely looking at least revisiting back towards that $2,100 level again. But look at what we're doing towards that $2,100 level. We have a couple different levels of support here. But no matter which one you want to use, either one of these dotted white lines, flat top, rising levels of support, guys, that is an ascending triangle and will be very bullish. If we do the more conservative outbreak prediction here, that would give us an Ethereum price prediction. If we can break above that blue line all the way up here at $2,400, could be huge. When you look at Cardano, you guys know I put this in our members only stream or Discord, I'm in a long right now on Cardano. I'm a little bullish here. There's levels lower than this. I'll look at taking some profit, but I'm looking at Cardano right now and I'm seeing the same thing, flat top with a rising level of support. Yes, technically we have some wicks that are descending. So what I do want to see Cardano do is break above this white line, cancel out that falling level of resistance. But as we make a trip back up towards 39 cents, watch out for a big breakout. I could see this piling all the way up here. This breakout prediction of this triangle would take us all the way up here towards 46 cents. It's a little bit lower than that, but why is 46 cents so important on Cardano? Well, scrolling out to our past, that is the high that we had all the way back here in April. This would match the high of 2023 for Cardano. That's where I have a trade opened. I still believe long-term that we can make a move to 60 before that big dip comes in. But for a short-term trade, I'm kind of looking right there around 46 cents. Again, we can go deeper on a lot of these if you guys want to do this later. I'm kind of doing some drive-by TA, letting you guys see what's going on with the bullish charts this afternoon. I'm so used to the morning. this afternoon. And then if we want to go deeper, we can go deeper. Solana, I'm looking at a small trade I've entered in here earlier today. This was a lot smaller than we got for Cardano. Looking to take some profit right here at $64, right in that fixed range volume gap that we have. So this one not necessarily making it. On my trade, I'm not expecting a push right now to get back up to $68. For now, I'm going to be happy with a $64 rally, but you will see when I take down the fixed range volume profile, I drew these the other day, and so I entered, we broke through them. We had two different lines, two different trends of bearish resistance that we broke above here just yesterday, last night. Entered that trade looking for a little bit higher. We got pretty much halfway through my trade right there. Came down, revisited my entry point, but we're still looking green right now, looking for that $64 level. Still, I believe we can rematch that $68, if not even make a push up towards 77. And who knows? When you're looking at Solana and how bullish it's been, it continues to defy expectations. I'm not predicting this, but I'm also not going to be surprised to see a visit of the platinum pocket up there around $124 for Solana. At this rate, the way it's going, anything is possible. Link kind of still sitting pretty. I have not entered along here. I did mention there was a good little spot here. I really could have. We're tracing here a little bit. I'm definitely probably going to enter one if we hit this white line again. But if not, I do want to enter a breakout above this flat level resistance. Yes, we had a fake out come over here. That's why I'm kind of really using the formation here. I'm going to start with this formation starting right here, even though this trend line goes all the way back to October 23rd. This former resistance, now support line. That's my ascending triangle, similar to the others we talked about, would give me a new high, $18.37 for Chainlink. I think that would be a very interesting trade. Again, I want to see some confirmation before I'm going to go crazy with entering into these, but not a bad setup right there to go ahead and enter along here. And then put a stop loss right at that bottom right there. Again, I could get aggressive and say either enter now or even enter if we revisit this white line. I'd probably lower that stop loss a little bit more, but I'm satisfied even with that. That'd be a 20% profit, even if I was just trading straight up, like, not even trying to do 5X or anything. We do have exciting news. We're going to be partnering. Some of you guys have been asking, what have you guys been trading on? Well, I haven't been using a trading exchange since BitGet kind of pooped on us. I've been kind of using Coinbase to go back and forth between Tether and what I want to trade. So I've been doing a lot of one-to-ones, but we have a new exchange we are partnering with here very, very soon. We're working on those details. I will save that information, but those you are asking, bros, how are you guys trading? What platform you guys using? I'm about to start doing a lot more trading to be talking about on the channel. Going to be talking a lot of those details in the Discord. That's why you need to be in that Discord. You need to be a member. But we're going to be talking a lot more about this. So get ready for some juicy trading content coming in. But yeah, Chainlink, I'm looking. I think a safe entry would be if we can get above that blue line right there on $15.42 and get a nice little 20% pump. Should be the breakout prediction. That's going to kind of drive by. Eric Wallen says, please be MEXC. I have nothing against MEXC, but I'm going to newsflash for it. It's not going to be MEXC. So it's not MEXC. Nothing against them. If you guys want to use MEXC, it's completely fine. But we found a good one. They want to partner with the channel. So that's hey, they want to help us grow. I've looked at them pretty deeply. They're trusted. You do not need to report who you are. You don't need to give your information. You don't need to use a VPN. It's pretty cool, and they have everything you need for the trading world. So going to announce that here very, very soon. Maybe even tomorrow. I think we might have the finalization of all that tomorrow. Stick tuned for that. But we're going to take a break for some TA. We're going to get into some news and then come back in, do some more in-depth TA, maybe even some members' requests. And again, just because you're not a member doesn't mean you can't put in here. If I don't see any suggestions from our members and you guys want to put some stuff in there, that's completely fine. But T-Shroom, let's do this. Let's do the question of the day. I always blank that's not question of the day. Why am I blanking on the word? It's the factoid. The factoid elves fact of the day.
That's right.
We'll jump into some news and then get back into the charts. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button. Love seeing the guesses in here. I'm going to predict you guys don't know the name of this exchange. I had not heard about it until they reached out to us last week.
Same.
And we were doing our due diligence and we were like, wow, this is actually pretty good. So, yeah, you guys are probably, if you guys guess, I will do this. If you guys guess what it is, I'll confirm. If I see it in chat, I will confirm. But I'm going to be surprised if you guys guess it.
Is it FTX? All right, let's get to the factoid here. The northern mockingbird is the state bird of which U.S. state, Tim? Is it New Jersey, New York, Florida, or Ohio?
I'm going to assume not. I'm not going to rule out C here.
Hmm.
I also know it's not the bird of Florida. What is the bird of Florida? I know it's not that. I would know that. I grew up in Florida, so I would have known if that was the case. I don't think Jersey's bird is going to be like a pigeon because that's all they got there. New York has upstate New York, which definitely could have a mockingbird, and so could Ohio. Oh, that's really challenging. That's a really challenging one. I'm going to go with...
Let's see it in the chat, guys. Let's see some guesses. I think Eric Wallen may have guessed the exchange.
Eric Wallen did guess it. He spelled it horribly wrong, but he did guess it. Goodness gracious. I'm going to go with New York.
He's locking it in, folks.
I think Matt C says Ohio. I feel like Ohio would have something else be their state bird, but I could be wrong. It's more than likely either New Jersey or New York or Ohio, but we'll have to wait and see.
Okay. All right.
Mellow Fellow says, watch the Jersey slander, Tim. It's not slander. I mean, you guys have what you have, but let's just be honest. It's not a plethora of birds, at least to my knowledge. I've driven through New Jersey several times. It's really just kind of the younger brother of New York. You can't pump your own gas. That's what I know about New Jersey.
What's nice about New Jersey is it helps you get rid of your fiat. Whenever you drive through the tolls, they lend a hand and say, those dollars are not going to be worth very much in the future. Go ahead and hand them over to us by the hundreds. That's what New Jersey left its impression on with me. But
I feel good about my guess saying New York because Chris of the Cape, said that Ohio's bird is the cardinal.
Oh, okay.
And it's Chris of the Cape sounds like he knows what he's talking about. He sounds educated on the matter. He says that with conviction.
There's a lot of birds in the Cape.
It makes me feel good about saying New York.
Yeah, birds love a good Cape. Well, let's go ahead and get into the news here, Tim. There's a couple of headlines that are important for your crypto portfolio. The big one is we are not getting that spot ETF, more than likely, in December. SEC delays decision on Bitcoin ETFs, and what it means for crypto investors is that it's not going higher anytime in December, at least, based on the spot ETF application. Franklin Templeton early decision to delay their application before the January 1st deadline has raised eyebrows with the financial community. Analysts at Bloomberg's James Seyffert speculates that the pre-deadline move by the SEC might align approvals for all applicants on January 10th, 2024, and also iPhones. So that's the update there. There's really not a whole lot more. Tim, are you surprised by this?
No, because first of all, this guy has been commenting on the probability of. He gave us a decent probability it would happen here in November. Didn't happen. Ultimately, this is an article that people love to read to kind of feed their hopium. I can tell you this, guys. I think there's one human being in this world who knows when they will be approved, and his name is Gary Gensler, and he's not going to tell us when.
Oh, Gary Gensler. Okay.
Old Gary Gensler. Now, also, they said Virginia state bird is cardinal. I knew that, but guess what? More than one state can have the same bird as their bird of the state. But going back to the SEC thing, guys, I think January is realistic. I've been saying that I did not believe it was going to happen in November. I thought best case scenario January is when it's going to happen. I still think it's understandable for him to continue to push it on to March or even later, technically speaking. But I'm going to go ahead and give it. Somebody said, I saw someone say 90%. I think what's her face? Kathy Wood gave it a 90% chance of acceptance in January. I could be wrong about that, but I think she said by January. It's a little high for me. I'm going to give it not quite a 50-50. I'm going to give it a 45% chance. I think there's a 45% chance we get approval by January 10th. And then I think I'd go 90 by March.
Okay.
Let's go 85. 90 is too rich. Let's go 85% that we're going to get it by March. That leaves 15% it comes out. I think 100% is going to happen. Or 99.9% is going to happen. There's always that 0.1% with Gary Gensler. But
so March, it's interesting to hear you say March because the January 10th the reason why that's so important is because that's the final decision for the ARK invest. So how
Yeah.
could it go past? So it going past that would either mean that the SEC's kind of pulled a rabbit out of the hat and convinced Congress that they should have another delay that isn't
Yeah.
extended to them by law, which is possible. The law's
Well, to be
man-made.
fair, they also had a due date earlier this year with Grayscale that they came up with a BS reason to ignore it. That's what started the Grayscale lawsuit that pretty much said you have to review it. So what I think could happen if we don't see an approval, you're right. It is the last date they should approve the ARK invest, but
Mm-hmm.
Gary can pull a rabbit out of the hat and say, "Oh, we're not going to approve it because of this," and then he's going to get sued, and then he's going to have to review it again, and it's a postponement. But
Mm-hmm.
people who think that he has to do something at this point, no judge has told him he has to do anything other than review the applications. Now, the reasons, his excuses for not approving them keep getting kicked to the curb. So it's getting more, it's already ridiculous, but it's getting more and more ridiculous. That's why I'm putting a 45% chance on January. I think it's a decent chance. But we've seen him be ridiculous before. So why would we be surprised to see him come up with a BS reason to postpone it to March, to delay it just as much as possible? After that, like, what he does not want is he does not want BlackRock coming after him with a lawsuit. So that lawsuit would come in March, I do believe. That's why I think I give a higher rating to the March approval than I do the January one.
Okay. Well, so it's imminent. And folks are using the word imminent because of updates like this from Eric Bulkanis from Bloomberg. He's been keeping us abreast of all of the latest updates, and here's a new one. Looks like BlackRock met with SEC's Trading and Markets Division again yesterday and presented them with that's interesting. That's a typo, isn't it? And presented them with a revised in-kind model design based on staff's comments at their 11/20 meeting. So what is this, an in-kind model design? Well, here at the Investing Bros, we go one layer deeper, and we're going to bring it to you. An in-kind transfer is a process of moving assets from one brokerage account to another brokerage account without any selling or buying. Very important, right? So without impacting markets, it's kind of an over-the-counter. That's what it seems to me, over-the-counter transfer, in-kind transfer. And if you want to learn more about this, it is actually pretty fascinating. If you're just here to make money, that's okay too. But this is kind of here for the tech. You can take a screenshot of this. I am not going to get into the details, but I love a good flow chart, and I'm sure you do too. Some percentage of you just took a screenshot, and you and me, we're the same. I'm definitely going to be looking at this a lot more. But anyway, this signals to me that there's a lot being thought out in terms of the execution of this. It's no longer a matter of if. It's really a matter of getting it right, because billions and potentially trillions of dollars is going to be flowing through these instruments, and the SEC wouldn't be spending time and deploying their resources to make a plan if they were just going to reject it. Now, I say that, don't put it past Gary to do something insane, but it does seem to be imminent and not a matter of if.
And here's the thing to remember. So this is where all the BS is going to come from. Gary has said his biggest concern for why he has not approved it yet is he's still afraid of price manipulation. So that's why he's had a lot of the refilings that have been done have included what the companies view as the biggest threats to the price action of Bitcoin that could still manipulate price. By the way, do you want to know what one of the number one things that was listed on there was? Stable coins. And it talked about Tether, and it talked about Circle. It talked about USDC. So that is a part of why I believe the approval is coming, but I also believe they're going to blame the dip, even though it's a take profit situation. They're going to blame the dip on stablecoins, and there's going to be some FUD about it, because that's the institutional concern, is that stablecoins can help manipulate Bitcoin price, and that would be a red flag to Gary and the SEC of approving it.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've sufficiently beaten that horse quite well.
Dead horse.
We can move on. Well, one thing that is mentioned in this flowchart is Coinbase, and Coinbase just cannot stay out of the news. This time, it's for good reasons. Coinbase stock is soaring, and it's actually soaring at the same time that it seems that ARK Invest is actually divesting, which is actually really, really interesting. So if you take a look here, at Coinbase chart,
beautiful.
Yeah, you can see absolutely nothing. No, just kidding. You can see Coinbase putting in quite a bit of a higher high. Up currently it's up about 12, call it 13% from these highs that were put in back in July. So Coinbase doing really well. Actually down today, right? On the news that Robinhood is actually getting a lot of the ARK Invest liquidity. Coinbase getting sold by ARK Invest, rotating into Robinhood. Cathie Wood, what did she say in that, I think it was Bloomberg interview just a couple of days ago, not last week, was that the big question for her is what is going to be the wallet? What is going to be the wallet that really brings everyone to the table and becomes, the Visa and the MasterCard equivalents into the future? Now, I don't know that Robinhood is going to be the wallet, but in this moment, the person who's come out in front asking that question seems to be making a decision on that. So that could be something to watch. Robinhood definitely getting some investment there.
Yeah, but I think that all the filings still have Coinbase listed as the custodian wallet at this point, unless they're going to refile them. I don't know. At this point,
For
Coinbase is
retail,
still, yeah.
not necessily for the ETFs, although that is an interesting twist in
I
this
mean, that's what they're.
conversation.
Unless something changed and I wasn't told. The recent filings still have Coinbase set as the ETF custodian wallet.
Correct. What I think the question that's being asked by ARK Invest, what they're wanting to deploy their capital to, is the wallet for retail. Meaning, like you and me, when we buy, are we going to buy, when we buy Bitcoin spot, are we going to buy it through Coinbase or Robinhood? And then the next 5 million investing bros, so to speak, that come in, are they going to buy it through Robinhood, Coinbase, or something else? Right?
Hmm.
The BlackRock, Fidelity ETF, that's a different, that's investment, that's institutional 401k holder management mostly. There will be retail that buys into that without a fiduciary, right? But for the most part, I think the question there, anyway, the point is that there's a decent amount of liquidity getting shuffled around, and Robinhood seems to be the winner in a time where Coinbase is actually going quite sky high. So you could be starting to see the beginnings of Coinbase being that institutional provider, Robinhood, steal from the rich, give to the poor, being more for the retail. And they're not the only ones, obviously. But
let's see here. I got to look at. Don't go to my screen just yet.
Oh, I won't.
But Whale Alert. This is a Twitter handle. I've told you guys I would recommend following them. So a lot of people are going to look at these and think this is bearish. You can go ahead and share my screen now. I don't know what all the ads are going to be.
Henry.
Whale Alert. It just updates every single time there's a large movement from a whale. Most of the time it's Bitcoin, but they'll do like Solana whales, Ethereum whales, Cardano whales, yada yada yada.
Sure.
We've seen a lot of these recently, and a lot of people think it's bearish. Yet the price keeps going up, which to me, I think is more people moving from Binance, moving from others. But I've seen a lot of these big numbers of Bitcoin transferred from unknown wallet to Coinbase. Let's see, transfer from unknown wallet to unknown new wallet. Okay, thank you. That doesn't help me at all. Kraken. The point was, I was watching this earlier and I saw. Okay, here's a couple. There's a couple of them like this. Transferred from. This is Dogecoin though, so I don't know. Maybe they're going to delist Doge. Transferred from Robinhood to unknown wallet. So I've seen more things being transferred off of Robinhood recently from Whale Alert and onto Coinbase. And now it's not necessarily saying that it's being transferred from Robinhood to Coinbase. All I'm saying is that whales, I'm not seeing a lot of whale alerts of people moving stuff off of Coinbase. I see a lot of whale alerts moving off of Kraken, off of Binance, off of Robinhood, and a lot of whale alerts moving things on to Coinbase, right? So follow this chart. I love this page, guys. He has 2.3 million followers. Whale Alert right there. Go follow him. Get your own updates. Let us know. Also help in the Discord. When you guys see something you think is fishy or you think is important, put it in our Discord. But I follow this page. It's really important. You probably will see me bring it up more often. I don't know. I don't know what. I didn't see the quote from Cathie Wood, but I see a lot of whales moving money onto Coinbase right now. Could be part of the reason why that map. I mean, you showed it getting really close to our prediction that we made based off this inverse head and shoulders pattern of 140. We fell short here back in July, but we're getting really close now. We're getting really close to that 130. Do we see a little push to the upside and then a rejection?
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, you said it was fishy, but in reality, whales are mammals. They're not even fish. So
okay, that's a good point. I blew it. I apologize for my mislabeling of animal
That's okay.
species.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's why we
Uh,
believe in forgiveness in the Investing Bros.
Good. I'm glad.
Um,
I'm glad.
yeah. Well, one exchange you mentioned. So that actually, and serious note to wrap that up.
Yeah.
That actually goes with my point because I think the bigger money may be more interested in Coinbase because
Yeah.
that's what
It's looking like
BlackRock is
it.
tapped, right?
Yeah.
Versus the little guy, right? May find some haven over in other exchanges. Robinhood, obviously, extremely well positioned and retail facing service provider. All right, let's take a look here at the next story. We're going to go through it pretty quickly because it's probably not super relevant, but it would be good for you to know in case you do a lot of dealings in BUSD that
Yeah.
Binance will cease support for its BUSD stablecoin on December 15th. There's some questions here that I have, but I don't know that we'll be able to find the answer in this time because it's also not all that interesting. But I thought it was PAC-C. I thought it was
Yeah.
that was operating but BUSD, not Binance. So, and that we found that out when PAC-C was.
I think no. Okay, so I think that Binance stopped doing a lot of BUSD pairs. So they've already removed a lot of pairs. This is saying like they're pretty much every pair that's left, they're getting rid of it, and they're not going to be using BUSD anymore.
Okay. Well, the Fed. Did you forget about them? Well, they're back. Here's what it would take for the
Where'd
Fed
they go?
to start slashing interest rates in 2024. They've head for the hills because Javier Milei is running around closing all the central banks. No, just kidding. That hasn't happened yet. If the real Fed fund rate continues to go higher, as I expect it will, then you'd want to offset that through rate cuts. Makes sense. And the amount of rate cuts I think they're going to have to do is a relatively large amount. That comes from Joseph Lavorgna, chief economist at SMBC
What a
Nikko
name.
Securities America. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Well, we got more here. Market pricing has grown more aggressive on Fed policy easing, with Fed funds futures now pointing to 5/4 percentage point rate cuts next year, one more than before the latest speeches, according to the CME Group. Stocks have rallied since as investors prepare for lower rates. We've got one more set of highlights here. Fed officials at their meeting in 2 weeks will update their economic projections over the next several years, a process that includes revisions to the so-called dot plot of individual members' expectations for interest rates. Indeed, if you go to the Fed website, you can see that in the next decision, the 12th and 13th, that there will be a CEP, a Summary of Economic Projections. During the last update in September, Federal Open Market Committee members, FOMC, penciled in the equivalent of 2 quarter-point cuts next year. That's 2 quarter-point cuts next year, total of 50 basis points. However, that was predicated on another rate increase in 2023 that almost certainly is not happening, judging by both the recent Fed commentary and market expectations. Tim, that was quite a bit, but do you have any reactions other than hydration to that information?
I do have a thought. I'm trying to keep it concise, but I don't think people. Maybe you do. I don't think people realize how big of a mistake it would be for them to be cutting rates this severely. And it is one that I'm technically predicting it's going to happen, but I hope people understand the way this works. If Jerome Powell does his job correctly, and I'm not necessarily the biggest Jerome Powell fan in the world, but I do feel like he's been better at his job than Gary has at his. Let's put it that way. And he's been pretty realistic with his explanation of why he does what he does. And even though there's been moments I'm like, I kind of disagree with you, there's other moments I'm like, all right, I think that was the right play. We all know in reality, inflation is still a big problem, even with the current rate of 5.25 to 5.50. All right, we know this. Are the CPI numbers coming out okay? Yeah, because they can get away with some technicalities. When in reality, a lot of what you and I spend money on, T-Shroom, and a lot of our listeners spend money on, that stuff is still going up in price, right? And that's with these high interest rates. Now, why will they start to lower interest rates? In my opinion, and historically this has been the way it's worked, it has to do with recession. Now, the difference between this time and the past times is in the past, they respond to a recession. So it's a reaction. A recession hits, the GDP gets really bad, and then they lower interest rates to try to pump up the economy. But by that time, and because it's a delayed effect, it's a little too late. The economy still crashes. And that's why people say, oh, when we pivot, we see crashes in the economy and crashes in the stock market. No, what we saw was the economy crashed because there was a recession, and then it takes a while before the lower rate hikes actually kick in and help the stock market out, right? So this time, my prediction is it will come because there's fears of recession. The numbers aren't bad, but they're not looking good, and they're going to want to keep those numbers looking as best as possible. So they'll be early with the early with the rate cuts, and it'll prevent a recession or kick the recession down the road, right? But as long as there's no threat of a recession, which right now there's not, there's no reason to lower interest rates. And if they do, you want to talk about how expensive things are right now and how frustrated you are when you go to the grocery store? Think about what happens if the interest rates get cut. Yeah, will economy boost? Yes. Will stock market go to the upside? Will crypto go to the upside? Great. But guess what? Your hard-earned paycheck that you guys are still going to work every single day. Some of you are at it right now while you're listening. That's not going up anytime soon. I don't think employers are about to raise money, but they'll make everything more expensive. So yeah, you're going to sit on the side. Hopefully you have a lot of crypto now, and hopefully you don't have to liquidate it. Because if you think that you'll be able to take all this extra money and flow it into crypto, no, I'm sorry. Food's going to get more expensive. Living's going to get more expensive. Gas is going to get more expensive. Things are going to get more expensive because the value of the dollar will once again start to plummet. So while they're predicting a rate cut coming soon and people see this as a positive sign, right now, if you go to my screen, this has kind of been accelerated. CME is predicting with a 48.4% probability that the first rate cut will come in May. I'm really hoping it doesn't, honestly, at this point. And I know like a lot of people want to see it come down, but I'm kind of hoping that we're able to hesitate. When you think about it, yes, interest rates are really high right now, but they're not as high as they've been historically. I care way more about fixing inflation. I would love to see the next president. I don't care if they have a donkey behind them or an elephant behind them or a water buffalo behind them.
Neither do I.
I would like to see the next president be like Malay and say, we're done with what's a nice way to say, and that's, I can't say that bad word because that's what I'm trying. What I want to see someone actually use some common sense when it comes to spending money. I put a post out on Twitter, T-Shroom. I know you're going to love this because the Dave Ramsey clip. Dave Ramsey takes this call from this lady who's explaining that her and her husband are in $1 million in debt. So he starts asking questions like, what do you guys do? He's like, she's like, oh, I have this much college debt, this much credit card debt. What they are is they're policymakers. They literally work for the government helping establish U.S. policy.
Oh, that's
they
hilarious.
Both have advanced degrees. He asked what your yearly income is. Their yearly income combined was $230,000. They have no children. They make $230,000 a year, and yet they have $1 million in debt. And so he pretty much rips her a new one, talks about how stupid she was, her and her husband, but the good news is they can fix it. They just had to live impoverished for like the next 3 years and save every penny. But it was so hard listening to her because I'm like, this is the same. These are people that are on paper supposed to be smart, but they're the ones making policies for us as Americans. They're the ones budgeting our taxpayer dollars, and they are in $1 million in debt because they needed a nice car and they needed a nice house and they needed to have this lifestyle. It's like, hopefully that we elect officials who cut costs, who understand that you cannot just print money out of thin air without severe consequences. They cut back budgets. We get inflation under control. Then we can lower interest rates and get back to being a top moving economy. And I'm hoping that whoever that president is, again, I don't care if they have a donkey, a water buffalo, or an elephant. I hope that they understand the importance of stable coins to help the US dollar. I hope they understand the importance of cryptocurrency, not only for value, because we know the values can go up. I'm just talking about the technology that can innovate inside of our country. I hope the next officials have that kind of a mindset, because if they don't, it could get ugly very fast. And who cares if Bitcoin goes to $1 million, but you had to liquidate all of it here in 6 months when the price is sitting at $60,000 because you can't even afford to put food on your table? That's the type of stuff that will happen if we lower interest rates too soon and just let the inflation of the dollar go to Beelzebub. Like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's great. Well said, Tim. And actually, I had an epiphany the other day, the exact conclusion that you came to. I don't care about Republicans and Democrats anymore.
No.
I'm almost becoming party blind. I think I'm going to coin that as a term. I don't see parties anymore. I see what you are saying and whether or not you are fulfilling what you are saying.
Yeah.
And that's it. You're paid, right, by the taxpayer. If you say what party you are, I don't care. I don't care what party you are. I don't think there's a difference between the parties anymore. That's, maybe controversial. That may be stinging on your
Yeah.
ears, but that's a
The
reality.
difference in party is you choose a party based off of who you want to fund your campaign. That's the difference.
Yeah, it's literally Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah.
It's the same exact ratio of sugar to water. Right. Okay. Moving along here, guys. We do have a little bit more to cover here. Not too much more though. And that is the answer to the factoid of the day, Tim.
Okay, I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling good about my New York pick. But yeah, let's bring it up. Northern mockingbird is the state bird of what U.S. state? New Jersey, New York, Florida. All right, so I saw. Well, no way, it is not Florida.
Tim, the northern mockingbird
Did this just change?
Is the state bird of Florida. And
you
were so confident, Tim.
I feel duped because I grew up in Florida. I feel like I knew the state bird of Florida, and it was not the mockingbird.
You're going to look it up for yourself?
I'm fact checking. I don't trust this elf.
That's okay. Go ahead and look it up. State bird of Florida is the northern mockingjay. Now, I don't know why it is. I don't know that I've ever seen a northern mockingjay. I probably have because I live in Florida, but there it is. That's the answer, guys.
That's stupid.
The answer to the question of the day.
It is. I fact checked it. It's true. All right. Well, you got me there, elf.
Yeah,
you got me there.
The factoid elf strikes
What is
again.
What is the New York state bird? Now I'm never going to forget this ever again. Florida has a northern mockingjay as its state bird.
It is the eastern bluebird.
Eastern bluebird.
That would be the eastern bluebird, Tim. Salia salialis.
Okay. Well,
log it away with right next to the chain link and the Solana knowledge.
I want you to start asking me once a week just to remind me, Tim, what's the Florida state bird? And I will remember for the rest of my life.
You got to know your birds.
You got to know your birds. All right, well, let's do this. Oh, gosh. Go ahead, guys. If you have enjoyed the show, smash the like button. That's what we pride ourselves here on the Investing Bros. We cover what you need to cover. We cover the charts. We cover the news. I feel like we have good takes on things, but we like to have fun while we do it. If you guys enjoy getting to hang out with the bros, you need to smash the like button. You need to be subscribed to the channel. You need to join our free Discord. And if you really, really love us and want to support us, you need to become a member. It's sitting right there below the screen. You guys can just hit that button, join, and you guys, for $5, you get to be a silver member. $20, you get to be a gold member. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited though. And this one, we still aren't ready because we still have to meet with Piper. We have some exciting news about some other stuff and ways you can support the bros, support the Piper, and support your trading. But I can't tell you what it is. I can't. I'm just going to leave that there. You tease you to keep coming back.
We have a couple questions I'm seeing in the chat that I want to answer, but really quick, there's a new video of a crypto influencer. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it was actually absolutely crazy. Check this out. Best state,
I'm
Tim.
Scared of this.
Is it New Jersey, New York?
No, it's not that. I would know that. I grew up in Florida, so I would have known if that was the case. Yeah, I'm a liar, I guess. I don't know what I'm thinking the Florida bird was, but I could have sworn it wasn't that.
You're so confident. I love it. All right. Let's see.
Single.
Or like one of those.
Yeah, good.
Fade and Tradfi said, "What up, my bros? I see T-Shroom looking at Pith or Pyth. You buy any yet? You poo any yet?" is actually what he typed, but I don't know that that's what you meant. I have put out a video on our channel here. You can go check it out. It was actually the live stream from 9 a.m. this morning. You can go watch the entire video where I do a surface level breakdown. Look how excited I am in this. That's the energy that I brought to the video as well. Very indicative of it. But you can go watch it. Folks are loving it. 362 views. People are getting really into it. But yeah, do a little bit of a breakdown of Pith, Pyth, and Chainlink. And guys, I do own it. I do own Pyth, Pith. What?
Yeah, we definitely need to know how it is pronounced. I've heard it both ways, Pith and Pyth.
Pith and Pyth.
What I thought was funny though, I was telling people in the office here today. We're getting to more TA here in a second, guys. I know that we want to look at Eric Wallen wanted to look at Ray, so we're gonna look at that. But I was telling today, you were explaining to me yesterday in the members only thing. You're like, I asked you how to pronounce it. You're like, Tim, I think it's based off of like Python, so that's why it's Pith. And I was like, what is that? Like, that doesn't make sense. Tell us, how is it pronounced? Put it in the chat, in the comments below. How do you pronounce it? Is it Pith? Is it Pyth? Yeah. All right, let's do it. Let's take a look at Ray. Eric Wallen says he wants to look at it Did I spell this wrong? No, I didn't. We're good. All right.
Sweet.
Did I use this? I think I am though. Let's see. Hourly. This is not the right. I don't think this is the right one.
I like
Because that.
Pyth better. I think Pyth sounds better on the tongue. Pyth. Just for the record.
Gosh.
I know
Which
that I won't.
why am I? Like, I'm getting it. This is definitely not it because what we're seeing happen is very explosive. What is it? C. When I say I'm just one letter off. I'm sorry.
I was
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say I've never heard of Ray.
You know what? It was there. It existed, but we wanted
C.
to look at C. Here's the thing. It dropped actually a little bit below what I thought would be a decent little buy level. I thought we'd get, and I think when we come down and look at these lower time frames, we're going to see some buy signals coming in here. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, so we did get our oversold. I told you guys I told you guys we were talking about this in the membership stream. I thought that would be an interesting buy level at 25.8. 25.8 cents. We're back a little bit below it, so I think it's a decent little buy. You are seeing the MVP oscillators in the hourly chart flashing by. Let's see the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart says we could go lower. RSI is kind of flirting with that midline. Chart prime oscillator, it's delayed a little bit, so I want to see how that updates when we get a candle body close there. But is it going to close right at that midline? Could be interesting, but it's not necessarily screaming buy. So you could be a little greedy here and maybe wait a little bit longer. You know, hourly chart definitely flashing buy, but we ignored that one. So maybe we're sitting. Maybe this is one when you're looking to buy. If you have chart prime, wait for a buy signal to flash on the 4-hour chart. That does not need to be an oversold green, either a bullish divergence or a green reversal, or even start to see some green histograms come in on that 4-hour chart. I would definitely advise that. Let's take a look at some other things here. We're not going to get any reversal bands. We have been so far removed. We have not touched the 4-hour dynamic reactor since 9th of November. Let's see what the hourly dynamic reactor is looking like. Yeah, so maybe we're looking for a retouch of the hourly one down here towards 24 cents. But see, of course, as we were looking at the longer time frames, guys, very, very explosive here. We were talking about it in the membership chat yesterday with Bedridden. He was asking, are we forming a cup and handle of kinds? I don't think so. This is more of just a cup, which doesn't tell you anything. By the way, guys, that's not a pattern. And we kind of discussed how to view patterns when you're looking, especially at these newer altcoins. But what you do see is an explosiveness, an initial launching that saw the price shoot up. But we're definitely seeing a resurgence in it right now. Let's take a look here at Fibonacci, and we'll take just a couple little looks. Hit that rejection right at the 0.5. So, yeah, I mean, we're maybe a pullback a little bit below that hourly dynamic reactor. Maybe we rebounce here at the 0.382. I would say stick with that more like 24-cent zone, even if it drops a little bit below that. But would not be surprised to see a bounce right there between the hourly dynamic reactor, the 0.382 Fibonacci level at 23.1 cents. And then do we make a push up to golden pocket up here towards 43, 42, 43 cents? Could be very interesting. Let's take a look at what 4-hour, we're hitting that, but not necessarily too concerned with that. Let's see what the daily is saying. Yeah, we've just been living in the overbought on the daily. The more I go out here to the weekly, there's just not a lot of data to look at the weekly. So I'm not really going to take that with any type of data points there. Go ahead. What you're saying?
Not financial advice, but my conclusion on it after looking into it a little bit too is that if you're not super bullish on there needing to be a blockchain to prevent front running in trading, there's really not a big thesis for buying this coin, in my opinion. But there clearly is a decent amount of folks that disagree with me because it's into the multiple hundreds of millions of market cap, I believe.
This is more of a what's the market cap of it currently? Did we say it was like 26 million or something?
It's something like that.
It's low. It's a gem. It's a small cap. This, guys, I'll tell you,
574 million.
Okay, 500. That's still small cap. Anything below $1 billion, I'm still going to call a small cap. Now it's a larger small cap, but this is one of those coins. You're taking a very small fraction of your total crypto investment. You're trading off of news. You're trading off of adoption. You're trading off of partnerships. The hype of it more recently is a partnership with Circle. The charts are not going to be the best thing to use. This is hey, I got $100. If this $100 goes to zero, it's not the end of me. But if that $100, if this coin 100x's, which I don't see it 100xing, because 100x would put it at this point at a $50 billion market cap. If it's at 500 million right now, but maybe it does. I don't know. Maybe it does. This is one of those, like, maybe I can turn my $100 into $1,000, or maybe I could turn my $100 into, best case scenario, $10,000. Hey, to me, that's a win. If you turn $100 into 10,000 here in the next 2 years, good. That's phenomenal. But this is not one that you're like, all right, I have $10,000 to invest. I'm going to put $3,000 into C. No, it is not one of those. This is throwaway money on a, hey, I think because of that smaller cap amount right now, it has potentially a higher ceiling than others. And if it takes off, and if it becomes maybe a true rival of Solana, not meaning it's going to be at the same level market cap as Solana, but maybe it's really heavily respected, hey, maybe it does go to $50 billion in market cap. Maybe it gets to $100 billion in market cap. Maybe it has just an explosive bull market. That's why I would say, hey, if you like it, put a little bit in, but don't get nuts with it. Be fully expecting. If you're expecting to lose every dollar you put into it, but you might win big, that's the best play for a coin like this.
Yeah, Crypto Dave, I think, saying it best. I don't see
yeah
100x on this one.
So, I like it. Crypto, I like.
It's a lot of fun.
I don't either. I think somewhere between a 10 to 20x is probably the more realistic expectation here.
Yeah,
but it's not a safe 10 to 20x.
Yeah.
I don't like it as a safe one.
Well, a project that was very recently valued under $1 billion. You can see it back here as early as June. Right, this is only 435 million market cap was Caspa. Right, currently, read it and weep. $2.7 billion market cap for Caspa. It has absolutely rocketed higher and is now consolidating right above the 2.61 Fibonacci extension that I have drawn, and it's still above the midline of the Bollinger Band in the daily chart. And you know what? It's still looking pretty bullish. I'd say that this is consolidating here nicely. It's a recharge that it's been greatly needed on this just absolute tirade up and to the right. Tim, you have Caspa pulled up there. Maybe you have some thoughts on it.
I pulled up GRT because that was a request from one of the members. Do you want me to take a look at Caspa, then we come back to GRT? I'll just come back to this. I was looking at Caspa before the show.
Were you?
It's formulating a nice little bull flag. Now, it doesn't mean we have to move that way, but when you zoom in here, let's go to the 4-hour chart. Pennant, to be fair. I want to make sure for everyone out there is like, Tim, that's not a flag. That's a pennant. All right, guys, they work the same way. So that's why I'm saying it. But it's a pennant because it's a triangle at the end of a flagpole. What's up, Crypto Seth? We got to get you back on soon.
I can't confirm this, but Crypto Seth might have been one of the ones that introduced me to Caspa early on, and I bought it at 4 cents. So,
hey, that's nice. So we could pull back a little bit more here on Caspa to 12. Guys, I still think a dip is coming in Caspa. Someone was asking me yesterday, Tim, did you get in? Have you gotten in yet? When are you going to get in? I'm still waiting for that dip. I'm going to be buying a lot, and I'm going to be spreading out my crypto a lot after the big dip.
I think you're looking at the dip.
No, that's not a dip. That's
what I'm saying. I think
that's not a dip. That's not a dip at all. Listen, this is the type of coin that easily could have a 60% dip, and it's just another Tuesday because of how explosive it can move in both directions.
No, you're right.
It's been pumping like this on nothing but positivity. Wait till we get a glimpse of negativity in crypto again. These are the types of coins that respond heavily to negativity. But when the positivity comes back, it'll get really positive again. So speaking of Seth.
I agree with that, but the thing is like, as long as that carrot of the spot ETF for Bitcoin and Ethereum are being dangled in front of the market, I don't know how much negativity there's going to be. Just because it's like, look, I'm watching the Hunger Games right now, right? You can't completely demoralize a people until you take away their hope. And there's a lot of hope right now because there's this giant carrot being dangled in front of the market. Spot ETF. You got your paycheck coming this week. What are you going to put towards? You going to buy that indoor pool, or are you going to get some more Bitcoin and buy a new house in 5 years, right? So people are doing the calculations. I don't think there's many sellers. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't going to be dips, especially in names like Caspa, but I don't know.
I'll tell you, this is But what you had just explained, T-Shroom, is exactly why there will be a dip.
There you go.
You just said there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope. There's just positivity. Well, guess what, guys? Negativity doesn't work if everyone sees it coming. Negativity comes with severe dips because retail investors don't think it's coming, because there's so much hope. And guys, I believe in hope. First of all, as a believer, my main hope is in Jesus, but I have hope in things. I have hope in crypto. I have hope in changing my life financially. But we also know if you watch any movie, villains always talk about the greatest thing in the world is being able to crush hope. And villains do that. And in the crypto world, there are villains. People will short the crap out of the spaces and crush the hope of the retail investor. So you're right. There's nothing but hope right now. And that could be the greatest weapon for people who want to bring price back to the downside. But go back to my screen here real quick. We're gonna stay on the hope side though, T-Shroom, because this is realistic hope. We're looking at the charts. First of all, this is the same. It wasn't really a flag as much as look at this. Oh, it was a flag. So we had a little bit of pennant back here. I'm just going to use my trend fusion. I'm not going to actually draw one because I don't want to waste your guys' time. So we had a little bit of this kind of after a nice little bull flag. Move this up. Perfect call as to where we would go to the upside. Well, this is a flag pull again. Actually, T-Shroom, you made a video about this earlier. Kind of, you're talking about, I think,
Tesla.
Where see kind of a similar situation going. Well, guess where this sends us up to? Guess why this is kind of, in my book, possibly realistic. Not only is it a second flagpole of the same dimension on a pennant and a flag back here, it sends us up here to 23 cents. Also to a key level of Fibonacci extension. When I go to the daily chart, remember we told you when you're doing these types of projects, Fibonacci extension, fixed range volume profile, they're your best friends to try to get any type of momentum as to what's happening here. Well, these flagpoles kind of we're seeing some confluence at 24 cents. So what am I saying? That is the bullish scenario. We see bullish breakout. We could see a run up to 24 cents.
Yeah.
The bearish breakdown is saying, hey guys, realistically, not going to be surprised if we see somewhere around a 60% pullback. A 60% pullback from where we currently have topped out would be a pullback to about 6 cents. Let's say we make a move up here. Let's say we do get all the way to 24 cents. Great stuff here. 60% pullback would be right here to about 9 cents, right? So either way, again, I think a 60% pullback is pretty normal for stuff like this. Even if we make a move to 24 cents, I still think a better buying opportunity than currently what is right now is on the table. Now, I might make my first purchase of Caspa simply because I see a decent trade like what I'm looking at right here. We see a breakout to the upside of this pennant, and I zoom back in here. I could say, you know what? I'm not going to put a bunch of money. I might make a trade of a couple $100 and throw it into Caspa to look to take some profit up here at 24 cents because the crypto market's just continuing to boom, and Caspa is like the hottest name in crypto right now. But that doesn't mean that's my long-term buy. I'm not looking for my long-term buy here at 12 cents. I think that it can do better. I think we could see 9 cents. I think there's an outside chance we see somewhere closer to 6 cents. I know it doesn't feel that way right now because there's a lot of hope, but I do think that's still realistic. Now let's go back over here. We have like 3 minutes left. We were looking at the graph because I believe I saw Matt C say it, but he was saying it for somebody else. Crypto Trucker Mike. All right, Crypto Trucker Mike, this is for you, my friend. This is the graph. So we are looking at right now. I was kind of drawing some things here before. We broke some resistance here back on at the end of October. That's kind of bullish. Even though I have this little support line kind of drawn right here, just keep an eye on for pullbacks. We broke out of more of like a channel here. So let's actually do this. Let's clone this bad boy and see where we kind of have a lot of confluence. Talked about this yesterday. Yes, we have some breakouts below this, but as a whole, you can see a nice channel with just 2 random breakouts that I'm not necessarily going to fret over. This would give us a breakout prediction right here. So let's just measure the top to bottom of this this channel. Let's move it over. We've already hit pretty much the breakout right there. So that's the first sign of saying we could have peaked here. Let's keep an eye on what's happening here, but we did hit our breakout point of this channel. Let's take a look at what we have going on. We've double topped here. Here's where I'll get a little bullish for you guys. And we talked about a cup and handle yesterday. Could we potentially see this kind of utilized as a cup and handle? Here's the first thing that I love about this potentially being a cup and handle. Flat top. I love the double. I love the double top with a flat cup level, right? And now we've had a little bit of a pullback. Well, this pullback, as we talked about yesterday, it doesn't need to quite be halfway. It needs to be at least a third. Well, if we start to move to the upside and make a move like this, we see a super chat. We're going to read that here in just a second, Lee. Thank you so much. This right here, if this plays out, would give us a price prediction for the graph shooting up here towards 18.8 cents, almost 19 cents. Even if you were to enter here right now, which again, this is not the trade setup you'd want, that would be about a 31% move to the upside. So definitely something that is not confirmed, but is something to keep an eye on here with the potential cup and handle formulating. We just got a bullish flash here on the 4-hour chart. I like that. I do like that we're seeing bullishness on the 4-hour here for the graph. There's a lot more I could do here. We are running out of time. I got to read the super chat, but hopefully, Trucker Mike, that helps you out. Lee Kolafi, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Said, yo, bros, Bitcoin Maxi here. All right. Well, we still love you. We still love you. Bitcoin Maxi here. Dollar cost averaging since 2017. You're an OG too. Look at that. But everyone knows about Bitcoin, so I've been spreading the word on Jesus Coin. All right. So you're not a Maxi. God bless you, your family, friends, mods, and subs. Here's what I'll say. And as a Christian, I heard someone say this the other day that like anything that would bring light to Jesus and bring people thinking about Jesus that part I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool. Yeah. If here's what I'll say. I'm not probably going to invest in Jesus.
No.
It's a meme coin. And I'm not telling you don't need to invest. Do what you want. I will say, as a Christian, if one person gives their life to Jesus because of the Jesus coin, that's pretty cool. In my book, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to trade it. I'm not going to invest in it. It is a meme coin. But it is true that I think anything in this world, the Bible says that God can use the mouth of a donkey. He can use the words of fools to bring people to him. So if a meme coin called Jesus brings someone to Jesus, then amen. That is super cool. Eric Wallen says Jesus coin has been rising since April. Right at Easter. What is the chances of that? That's pretty cool.
It's not cool though because the max supply, it looks like it's 777 trillion.
Yeah, using the.
Am I reading that right?
Yes.
1,000 million, billion, trillion. Yeah, that's
and the circulating supply is nowhere close, which means that at any given moment they can just throw the supply at it like it's nothing. Yeah. If you want to put 10 cents into it,
it's a meme coin. Yeah.
It's a meme coin, guys. Yeah. It's a meme coin.
And I am fully in support of meme coins as long as they don't, become more than a meme coin.
Yeah.
It's art, right? It's culture. It's not an actual investment. Not that, yeah. So love it.
Lee, thank you so much for that super chat, man. And guys, that's all we have for you today. It is 4:02, but on that side, listen, we are a crypto channel. T-Shum and I have said this several times. We're going to say it again. We are both believers. We both love Jesus heavily. We have chosen. We're like, this is our ministry. We believe, and just like Jesus did not come to the world to shove religion or anything down people's throats. Every time Jesus proclaimed himself and his Father to people, the first thing he did was care for people's needs. So just so you guys know where Tisha and I come from, we would love for every single one of you guys, if you have a relationship with Jesus or you grow to have a relationship with Jesus, we would love to know that we were a part of your relationship with Jesus. If you have any questions, you can always ask us, but we are keeping this crypto because there's so many people who have financial hardships that they will never be able to understand Jesus, even if they met him, because they're so focused on the worldly problems. We want to help you with your worldly problems so that your eyes can be open to see your eternal problems. And that's where I do believe Jesus solves everything. If that's not for you, that's completely okay. We still love you. We still bless you. We still want you to come in and be with us every single day. But just so you know, if you ever have questions about Jesus, I love getting to talk to people. You guys can hit me up, DM me on Twitter, DM me in the Discord.
Amen.
We can set up a phone call. I will talk to you all day long if you want to learn more about Jesus. Love you guys. Happy crypto days. We will see you again tomorrow morning. Once again, adios.
Trying to make paper. Turn that better to cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got your word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. tryna make paper. Turn that vanity cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots, stack bacon. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.